The biggest selling album of 1998. Please welcome The Corrs.
How lucky we are to be doing what we're doing, to be working at something that we're talented at.
It really is a tremendous relief and a tremendous sense of fulfillment to have achieved as much as we have.
If you work hard enough, anything can happen. It is beyond our dreams.
We can play together, get on the stage, have the same dream, share in that. It's fantastic.
Thank you very much. The feeling's mutual. I swear it.
Hi, this is Stacey Piersa. I co-wrote Love Gives, Love Takes for the Corrs. And you're listening to CorrsCast.
Hi, and a huge welcome to episode 21 of CorrsCast. I'm your host, Simon, and in this episode of the season, I have the tremendous honour of chatting with Stacey Pierca about her early career, creative journey so far, and the surprising path that led her to connection with the band The Corrs. Specifically, we focus on the song she co-wrote, the fan favourite, Love Gives, Love Takes. Enjoy. Hi, and welcome to CorrsCast. Thank you so much for agreeing to come on. I know after a period of possible absence from the scene, this is your first interview, your first podcast, your first time talking with anybody. Welcome to CorrsCast. I'm honoured to have you on. Welcome, Stacey.
Thank you. I'm so honored and really happy that I'm here. And thank you, Simon. Appreciate it. And I love what you're doing for the Corrs. I think it's wonderful.
Thank you. That's high praise indeed. This is certainly a labour of love by fans, for fans, and I hope to, certainly honour your contribution to a song that the fans have loved for 2.5 decades now. So,
yeah, that's great. That's amazing. I feel like I just woke up and I'm back in the 90s still. So.
This conversation isn't going to help that because all I'm going to be doing is focusing on like 1997, right?
That was my time. I mean, I got my, like all through like 91 is when I started with Arista with Elliott Wolff, who was the producer, and I got signed when I was 16 to Arista. And and the whole 90s was just, I had, I got a BMI award for a Color Me Back song called The Earth, the Sun, the Rain. Yeah, I mean, it's a really nice time of my life. I did a video for Beverly Hills 90210 that was on the soundtrack for the TV show for the college years.
Yeah, that was the Not One More Time, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did the video, and it was on 3 episodes with the credits running over my face at the end. But it was on 3 times, and like it was funny. I was excited the first time that it was going to be airing, and I was but it comes on earlier on the East Coast, and like a friend of mine, Mitchell Davis, we're still good friends. He calls me up. I hadn't talked to him in a year, 2 years or something. He's like, I just saw you on 90210. And I was like, really? Like, oh, cool. How did it look?
I generally start every episode because this is about the guest and their story in the music industry, to paint a picture of the music industry as much as it is about the Corrs and their breakthrough into that music industry and their tremendous success that we love them for and the songs that we love them for. Tell us from the start, how did you get into this industry? At what age did you begin to get into this industry? I know listeners are going to be curious. I'm super curious. I obviously know few things, but from everything I've read and everything I've seen, this is a hard industry to break into and to have any success in. And it's not like the social media age we have now. This is hard graft to get anywhere. Tell us where that graft started for you, Stacey.
Well, I've been writing songs since I was 3, 4, like on a toy organ, but I couldn't read music. I didn't know anything. And I would like write down the numbers of the notes on the little toy organ my dad bought me. And I thought, it just was something I did. I wasn't doing it for fame or money or anything. I just did this. I thought every kid did it. I was just like, this is what, And so I started to realize, I possibly have this gift. And my parents were not musicians or anything. I was actually made in Taiwan, is born there and made, but it's my joke, but it's true. And my mother was Chinese and my father was in the Air Force. They came to the United States. And when we were living, when I was about 6, 7 years old, we moved to Seattle, Washington. And I wanted a piano. I saw a neighbor have a piano, and my mom's like, "Oh, you're not going to practice. You're going to do this." I was like, my dad, just had to put it like on a layaway plan and everything, and
Wow.
Baldwin Spin It.
Oh,
Yeah, so I started piano lessons at 7 and in Washington, and it was great. And I started writing more songs, and I actually performed on a show, and I know where the tape is. I just have to get it transferred. But the VHS is so old. It's at my parents' house a mile away. But it was a TV show called Music Magic, and it was on NBC, their Channel 4, Sunday mornings, and it was for kids and adults, but this was the kids version. And I was on there, Music Magic, and
wow.
singing a song and playing the piano that I wrote.
Wow.
And the host of the show was like one of the NBC Today Show kind of guys, just a real, so he had the show. And my parents were really, though, they wanted to learn what they could do for me, so I started performing. I was doing Broadway shows, performing, dancing, singing, because this is what I did. I mean, so they did not have any clue, but they were so supportive. They, had to drive me to every rehearsal, auditions, and everything. I mean, I did all the performing stuff, and I loved it. It was great. And but I was still writing my own songs.
Wow.
And making demos, and I have them, and it's pretty interesting. I've listened to them recently, and I was like, wow, they weren't bad. I used to have my own studio, and I just wrote all my songs 100%, and everything.
Wow.
But anyway, then my parents decided that when I was 11, he was able to move down to Los Angeles. He took a really bad job in the Air Force just to get down here.
Wow.
And I'm an only child, so, but once I got down here, I started auditioning, I was doing commercial stuff, everything, but I was always writing. And my father took me to this place called the LA Songwriters Showcase. And it was started by John Brahini and Len Chandler. And my dad read it about in a book, in some music business book, as he's trying to learn. And they had a thing once a week where people where songwriters could come. They would have publishers, different publishers, and they would listen to the songs. It would be like a cassette, like roulette.
Yeah.
So it's like you put your demo in there, and then the publisher's listening, and everybody's out, the back just watching, and they play the song, and they critique it. And so my dad took me there, and I put a song in, and I was 11, and they actually liked the song, but they just said the vocals were kind of, young, because I was my son, so it's embarrassing to me now. But yeah, and everybody, the person, Linda Blum, was who picked it up at the time, and it was a really good way for me. I didn't realize at the time that my dad took me there, because that place really helped me get to know all these songwriters and a lot of publishers. And so I was able to be part of that songwriting community that I still feel now when I do get on social media and stuff. I have so many different friends that I met through that community. And that's what really, and I was really truly the songwriter. I could dance, I danced and I sang and everything, but my passion was just songwriting and performing. And so I just did auditions and stuff like that. I got to get on Star Search. And actually, how I got on Star Search was because they saw an article in the Los Angeles Songwriters Showcase magazine that they had about me, that I'm like, songwriter, 12 years old, whatever, all that kind of stuff. So they had me audition and I actually had auditioned for Star Search, though, on the big cattle call, like waiting on Sunset, like at the theater that they used to perform. I mean, they used to record it at. Now it became Nickelodeon's stage and stuff.
Yeah.
But the talent scouts at working for Star Search contacted me and had me come audition at Capitol Records studio, which was pretty cool, and my mom driving me there, and 12 years old. And I got on the show, and it was like, oh my gosh, it was great. It was really great. But I mean, back then there was, I would just audition for every talent show. And I was doing so many like pilots with Casey Kasem to like talent show things. I was just doing everything I could, and so, but yeah, I got onto with Ed McMahon and I sang a song I wrote, which is called Shoppin' Boppin'. I wrote the whole song and sang it. And unfortunately, a few days before we were taping, they said that I couldn't win because I was turning 13 and I'm supposed to be in the 7 to 12 category.
Wow.
The week we were taping it. So they said, we're going to put you on, but you can't win. So, but I heard some other story with Justin Timberlake, same kind of thing. Like somebody sent me just a clip they saw like on Facebook where he was interviewed with, I think Anna Kendrick was on it too and stuff. And they start talking about his whole Star Search thing. And so someone sent it to me, and this was back earlier in February or something. And I watched it, and it was just, I could relate. And I was like, oh man, at least I wasn't the only one,
No, they weren't using that as an excuse to be like, no, you're not winning, whatever. It was just how ruthless they were at those age limits. Yeah.
Yeah, and the same thing for Justin. He was a little kid too, but he said he realized from that experience that, okay, I get it. It's not a talent show. It's just it's entertainment, you know?
Yeah.
So, and really, I don't know, maybe because I was so young too, and just driven, that I didn't have a lot of experiences, that I just went for it. I went to every kind of conference, music, songwriting, anything with songwriting. So I became part of like the songwriting community that I feel are still connected, but where everybody's a lot older, And
yeah, true.
And there was something really special in the 90s, I think, because it was the way the business worked. I don't know, it just had a different feeling to me, but I haven't really been in touch with things right now, even though I'm working on stuff slowly. Some cool stuff just happening. So yeah, I think the 90s, I mean, basically then I met Preston Glass. This is, I think, I worked with a lot of different producers and stuff, but Preston Glass wanted to work with me as a solo artist, and I producing my songs. So we did like 4 songs, and he paid for all the recordings and everything. And him and his wife are just the most loveliest people. But then I got this offer to go audition for this girl group that was signed to Arista. And it was also with Elliot Wolff, who was having a big hit with Straight Up at the time. And so I went to the audition, but I had been auditioning for other girl groups like for so long. And I'm like, I can't do that. I can't stand it,
Yeah.
But so I went to Elliot Wolff's house, and the girls in the group were there. I came over, they gave me something to sing. I sang, and then I had to go to another songwriting event. I think my friend Alan Rich was performing or something. And I was just kind of like in and out of there. I was like, I don't want to be in a group. And then I told Preston about it. And when they wanted me to join. Elliot wanted me to join. He said, she's super talented. She's the one, but I didn't want to do a group. So I actually said no. I talked to Preston, and he actually, and I felt so bad because he just spent all this money, working with me. He goes, because he's worked with Clive on many hits of his. So he goes, this is a really good opportunity and a great stepping stone for you. I would really recommend that.
Wow, that is a that investment, that mentorship of somebody at your young age, obviously all of that recording and that kind of going as solo being underlined by him because of his investment and his obviously belief in you.
Yeah.
And then for him to allow you to go, hey, yeah, go do this audition for this group. You obviously saying, no, this is not what I want. I'm now eager for my own thing because I've just recorded these 4 tracks. And then him to turn around and just go, oh, no, this is the stepping stone you can't see.
Yes. And I feel like I've reached out here and there, but I really would love to bring him some songs that I've had in my vault. So I've been very blessed and lucky,
Yeah, very. So take us from, obviously we've heard that name, Elliot Wolff, and it's a name I've been reading in the liner notes of this album for 25 years, right? And it's like, oh, okay, and you've got this, and then you've got you've got Sean Hosen, and you've got his writing partner, Dane Devlier, and I've spoken to them extensively and interviewed them for prior episodes in this season because of a song named Love Gives, Love Takes. Before we get deeper into that song specifically, how did you go from, Elliot Wolff going, I can see the talent in you, to then working with a studio with Elliot on this song? Fill us that part in.
Okay, so at that point, the reason I did not want to join the group is because I wasn't writing any songs. It was all written, all the songs. I was like, I don't really want to do this, but the songs are hits and amazing. Yes, I mean, and fun, and he was just always ahead of his time. But he had a studio at the time. He used to have a studio in his house in Beverly Hills, but then he sold that house, and he had a place in Hollywood for a minute, for like a year, in a really strange building, but it was a good studio space. It was a studio, old studio, but it was like, but it was right there on Hollywood Boulevard. And so we were there for a year or two. And my publishing company at the time was Pure Music, who's representing me, and which had David Foster. And they had said, would you guys like to write with these guys, Sean and Dane? And we said, sure. Yeah. We never met them or anything. And they had just been coming into town to write with a bunch of people or something. Yeah. Like that. And so we got together with them and we wrote this song, but I've been listening to some of the DATs, and I still have a lot more to do, but listening to some of the things, and I found one DAT that has just the track.
Oh, beautiful.
But I don't think it's the track for us to write to. Like, I think we came up with something and was trying to finish. And my memory's a little vague, but we got together and we started writing the song, and Elliot was at Elliott's studio in Hollywood.
I had the demo from Sean, so I have the produced demo. I have with your top line and your backing vocals and everything.
Is it the guy singing?
No, it's you.
It's me?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It sounds incredible.
No, is it me, really?
Do you want to hear it?
Yeah. One of the 24 tracks, but so I'm listening to each track real quick and I'm trying to figure out, and I couldn't hear my vocal. That's why I was like, what is it? But I heard the backgrounds, which is this guy, Robbie Brown. So I thought he sang it. He would sing all our demos and he would sing backgrounds for everything Elliot produced. I
wonder if there's a version of him singing it as well then.
But I couldn't find I couldn't find the So then I thought, but I did hear the lyrics. I was like, wait, those aren't the lyrics to the chorus, because I'm thinking of the one that's in the record, and it's like, and I'm like, it sounds good. I'll send you like the files, but once I get it together, they're just all separate. So I'm going through each one, and I hear all these harmonies, but I didn't hear a lead vocal. But I could hear Robbie, and his backgrounds were super cool, like even more than this. Like they're just. That's Elliot's. I'm thinking maybe this is Dane and Sean, that they had their people or somebody sing it, because I don't know that singer.
That's really interesting, because to their memory, that mix down from their demo masters is you singing it.
It sounds like my inflections, but
it does. It could be that singer's copying your inflections from a previous demo. That's
what I was thinking too. Or I might have a version with Robbie singing it, but his backgrounds were sure, because he was singing these lyrics. So I was like, I said, this is that song. And then it was like, oh, love lifts us to the higher high. I could hear the backgrounds, right? And they're really cool. I guess Elliot was ahead of his time. He always did all this, like, different kind of stuff. And they would say, but they would say that it's like too ahead of his time. So I'm here now. So anyway, but I'm excited to hear it. And that really sounds amazing.
Yeah, I've previously spoken extensively with Sean about that writing session with you and Elliot Wolff. You've described them like being shipped around to other people to do writing. They've come in. Was there a brief from your publisher to write a song for the Corrs specifically?
I think there was, because my publisher was hooked it all up, and said, why don't you guys do this? And it was kind of like, but yeah, and it was kind of awkward though, because it was just like so forced, and they were in town and working with different people, but we didn't really get a connection.
It's a one-time thing, right?
Yeah. And I have never talked to them. I never kept in touch with them. To be honest, I mean, I hear their names all the time. I just don't know them very, very well. Personally, they were super nice and stuff, but I think their type of writing was different than mine, the way I did stuff. So, and Elliot did stuff. So it was I remembered it was a little awkwardness, but it's always like that. You're writing songs with strangers,
Yeah, I can only imagine, because to me, like, writing anything on a bit of paper and giving it to someone else is it's coming from the heart. It's a very open practice. I'm sure, being creative, very vulnerable, and to have complete strangers, even if they're in the industry, that they're vetted humans that aren't going to destroy us, coming into a studio environment that you've created for your creations together. That must be quite daunting. So that's understandable that you're going to be a bit like, this is awkward. Lead us through, take us back to the inspiration for how the song started. What's your recollection of the start of Love Gives, Love Takes?
I always play the music first. I've just been like that that's how Elliot and I would write, because Elliot writes songs by himself. He don't need me. So it's like, I would always start something, just piano. And I remember we were all it was like the four of us, and the studio was just a weird space. It was very dark, and it was in this old building, like literally on Hollywood Boulevard, and which is now changed, it's
wow.
like, but this was, it was still shitty. Excuse my language.
Sean mentioned it. He was like, we were in this weird studio.
It's very strange, because he put the studio there because he sold his house in Woodland Hills, and then it went all to Santa Fe. It was just a place because he couldn't find a place, and it was very weird. It was very awkward, but it was like an old, like really old studio that had everything up on the, like, just the old, like, brown, and it was 70s, 60s stuff. Yeah. And I mean, they must have come in and like this, see all this kind of a mess in this place, but you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
But somehow we made it happen. And I think we weren't sure what to write, but I think there was the Corrs was what we were trying to do, and I just remember I was playing piano, and I think they played piano too a little bit, and Elliot was in there, and it kind of just, it's different. Every situation is different with every person, you work with, and strangers and stuff. And I'd say, that's a little awkward too. And you don't know their writing style. I don't know any music that they had, done, like their styles or anything. So I remember that Elliot came up with something about love gives, love takes, and then it was kind of like a whole trying to talk about the ways love gives, love takes, or something. I just remember though that we were in the studio, and I'm playing the piano, and They were playing the piano too, though. So, and we just were all sitting around there, and I'm not really sure how the inspiration came for that actual title. I love it. I mean, and I'm really stoked that the Corrs, I was not expecting to ever get a Corrs, I would love one to get, a Corrs record, let alone sheet music. I got sheet music because it's in this book I have in my closet that is, and that for me as a kid, sheet music was everything. If I could get just, I was always like, if I name it, I have sheet music that has my name on it that I wrote, because I would write out my manuscripts, and it happened. So
yeah, you're in the sheet music version. There's kind of like a best of, as well as the general sheet music for the album. There's all your names. Yeah.
I just have the best of, yeah. So, and I'm really sad that I didn't really get to meet them, or write it with them. But
well, there's time yet. There's time yet, right?
We wrote it together, basically. The Corrs wrote it too. So yeah. And I'm very happy about that. And I'm just happy it was on a record that people liked and enjoyed.
I know many fans, and it's like their favorite track on that album. And that album sold, like millions and millions.
All my dreams come true as they are shattering. I laugh, I scream. It's hard to feel what's happening. I'm waiting for some sign to save me, but every minute drives me crazy. Love breaks and love divides. Love lifts me to the highest high. I can't believe how many ways that love can give and love can take away. I want to see what's scaring me, but love is blind. The truth is lost somewhere inside this heart of mine. How can one hear words unspoken, once insane with eyes wide open? Love breaks and love divides. Love lifts me to the highest high. I can't believe the ways that love can give and love can take away. Oh yeah.
Halfway through the demo, I heard the sound of a car horn.
Oh, yeah. I heard that when I was listening to the 21st track.
Is the car horn alluding to love being taken away, like somebody being hit by a car, or fades into next pre-verse with it sounded like a horn, and I was like, oh, are they trying to hint at some kind of tragic death by car?
No. You never know, though, right?
You've got to ask. That was what came to my ears with that distortion straight away. So
I think it was like a car horn. But it did sound like that at first. But I think it's just a reverse, like the guitar thing. And I like this. I'm like, I like this song.
It's a great song. It's a great song. You can easily see from the elements, the harmonies in the demo, why the Corrs, when they heard it, went, yeah, that we can definitely, we would love to use this song. You can easily see why they would want to put it on the album. From the version we know on the album so well for 25 years, compared to the demo version, there's obviously lyrical changes, which was surprising to hear for me to begin with. I was like, oh, wow, this is different. This is different. This has been changed.
How did you hear about that?
With the writing split royalties breakdown, you can see the Andrea Corrs names on it and Oliver Lieber's names on it. And obviously For the beginning of this season, I have spoken to Oliver Lieber, and he discussed in the studio that they'd heard this song, that it was played, they liked it. Let's see what we can do with this song. And then, for whatever reason, decisions were made to change the song. I have a handwritten version by Andrea of your demo lyrics, which is really cool to see. And then I have copies from Oliver of him and Andrea adapting and changing your lyrics. I'd love to know how you first heard about the Corrs picking up the song and using the song.
I, first of all, did not even know that they had already heard the song or if they were considering it. I know they were going to be playing it for them, my publishers. And just one day out of the blue, I'm at the gym in Hollywood, Gold's Gym, the place back in the day. Everybody, who's anybody in the entertainment. And I saw Oliver, he was working out there too. And I saw another musician there too. This name was John. He's a keyboard player.
John Shanks?
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw him and he said hi. He's like, oh yeah. He just said, I liked your song. And I said, what song are you talking about? And I didn't really understand. He goes, it's with the Corrs. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, cool, that's great. And I was just kind of like, he says, yeah. And then he mentioned something about Oliver. So then Oliver was there and he at the gym and he goes, hey, he goes, yeah, I've been working on your song. And I was like, okay, cool. And he goes, yeah, I got it like a rough version in the car. And it was it was pretty much done. It was already recorded. So I sat in his car and just, listened to it. And I didn't know what to think because I just was totally caught off guard.
Yeah, I bet.
And because we do know, Elliot knows Oliver very well, and I know Oliver, but I've never worked with him or written with him or anything. And I love Oliver. I think he's a very talented, awesome guy. I would love to write with him too. And so I guess I just was just kind of confused, but I was just happy that the Corrs liked the song and they were going to record it. And, and I didn't really say too much because I'm happy that they, did that. They did not come to us to ask us though first, and I've gotten used to the version that's out. So in a sense, it's recorded, but now that I'm listening to this, it's like, I forgot a lot and I like it. Maybe I'll cut it. Or sing it.
Why not? Like, oh, that would be incredible to hear. The writing, like I said, is such a vulnerable thing to do, and then putting that baby out into the world that you've created. How does that feel to know that the artist that's then going to go and publish that song has changed your work? Did you feel that it was changed for the better? Were you disappointed?
I was disappointed. I was disappointed, but I was happy. I understand this business. I understand a lot of things and that I don't disagree on. I've had similar experiences with other artists and we all do. It's just part of the business, But I remember now that I didn't like the lyrics, that I didn't like what it was changed to. And I don't think Elliot did too. And there was not much we could have said no or something. I don't know, but it just kind of went along and it was just, it was just shocking. And then I was like, doesn't make it better. I didn't think at the time, but they did, she needed to make it her own way to sing. So I understand that as an artist because I do the same thing.
How do you feel that the song has been changed?
We wrote the lyrics for a reason, so it's kind of like, it's not really, they changed the whole, I guess, idea or the intention, because it's basically all our dreams come true as they are shattering. I laugh, I scream because it's hard to feel what's happening.
That is just such a loaded miracle lyricism of just perfection.
That's Elliot. So, I mean, it's just a matter, I think it's like saying, this is part of love if you want to be in a relationship. And it's like, it reminds me though, like love lifts you to the highest high, and I think that love laughs and make you cry is I think that's a good line. I like the other line better personally. Yeah, I think it just takes away from what our initial meaning,
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm very blessed and happy and grateful that I mean, I like the version that, they sing and stuff. And, I think that they did a great job recording it. And I just have forgotten all about it a little bit. So, and I really love this song now. I'm like, I'm going to learn it on the piano, play it again.
Oliver recollected in his interview that there was some disagreement about who should get what percentage. Can you remember that?
I think it was more Elliot was a little hurt just because they're friends.
Yeah.
And they've written together many times. So I think that was a little, just awkward for him. But I think, he's so passionate about his songs and his lyrics. And he doesn't like a song if it doesn't make sense too, like he puts so much time, and he really he doesn't mind people saying, hey, I want to maybe check on, I want to work on this, let's like try to rewrite some stuff. And Elliot was had taught me, and I go by this is how I've been doing songs. It's like, if somebody's in the room, you just split it. We split it equally, because whoever's in the room, whether they sang more or didn't say anything, they were there. He always splits, unless it's a different situation or something, But
Sure.
I think that's just right and fair and honest, and that's the thing. And so I think it felt like dishonesty in a way too. It was a little hurtful, but this is a business.
Yeah, and I think it's a product of its time to have an industry play a demo that you've written for them to the artist. They've gone, oh cool, I want to do something with that, and then they're interpreting what they're hearing without knowing that original intention, and then going, oh cool, yeah, let's feel how this feels to sing it. Oh, I'd like it to be like this, or I'd like it to be like that, or if I was in the room when this was written, I probably would have done this instead, and this is a song for us that we're going to sing as the Corrs. I can definitely see it from that side, and there's no malice, there's no bitterness, it's just a product of the industry at that time. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I love the song. I'm glad if it can touch some people, I'm happy I was part of it, I mean, I feel so, just fortunate that I could be on that record, and it was a huge record for them, the album and everything. I hope to meet the Corrs one day.
And I hope for that for you. That would be really cool.
And I didn't get a platinum record or anything, so I didn't get any of the records.
You didn't get a platinum because Sean's got a platinum record for it.
He does?
Yeah, it's up in his studio. Is it possible that Elliot had one stashed away there somewhere?
He wouldn't get his. He would never pick them up and stuff. I'm like, because he didn't like them. He didn't like to look at them on the walls. At his old house, he would just take them down and stuff. But when I moved into Santa Fe, I was like, oh, I want to put these up, not in the studio or anything, but he's like, he put them up in the laundry room. So they were in the laundry room. But he didn't get a lot of his records. I'm like, why didn't you get them? He goes, I don't care. He goes, and I don't want to look at the past. That's how
Wow.
he looked at it. He didn't want to walk up the stairs looking, these like records like does pass. I just put them up in the air because I thought it looked cool. So
Tell us more about Elliot's journey in the music industry. I'd love to hear more. How do you want me to address that?
Paula Abdul's sister, she lost her husband, a long time ago, around the same age. So she was one person I connected with. And I remember being somewhere and she introduced me as, oh, and this is Stacey. Elliot was her late husband or something like that. And I had never heard it that way. So I thought,
Wow.
oh, it's kind of good. But really for me is that he was my co-collaborator, producer. Like we were a team. I mean, we wrote so many songs that have not been heard. And there's so many songs of his that have not been released because of like there was 4 records that were so there's unreleased hits. Oh my God, there's like really cool parts of just these amazing guitar players. Like Greg Tripp as an artist, and Elliot produced his album, and his album came out. But he's an amazing, like, different style. And then Robert Daniels, his name is Storm. He worked with Elliot for so long, and he had his record unbelievable. And it didn't, same thing that they said the promotion department were like, you need to get rid of the white guy, and
Wow.
too pop. You're black and you're doing pop music. Everyone's like, oh yeah, we got to do something new. But here's the thing, if it's a hit song, you can produce it any way,
Yeah.
and with the hooks and stuff. And that's what Elliot was really good at. He didn't even like pop music. He was into jazz, and he wanted to play jazz. And then he toured with Peaches and Herb and Shaka Khan, and he was supposed to go. Frank Zappa wanted him to go on tour, and then he decided he'd see all these guys, in the different airports, other bands touring and stuff, and a lot of them were older, and he's like, I don't want to be doing this forever, kind of touring around. So he had never written songs, like really written a song. And when he was touring with, he was the musical director for Peaches and Herb, and in like 1980, and he learned a lot there, but he just said he wanted to write pop music, but because he didn't want to be poor. And then so he moved to LA, and the guy who wrote a lot of the big hits, Freddie Perrin was his name. He wrote like Jackson 5 hits. He wrote I Will Survive.
Wow.
He wrote like just such incredible songs, like Stop the Love You Say May Be Your Own, and all those, like I Want You Back, that kind of stuff. But anyway, Elliot went up to him and said, hey, I'm in LA and I want to I was just wondering if you wanted a co-writer. But he knew him because from the tour, but he'd never really been writing. And then the guy decided to hire him, Freddie Perrin.
Wow.
And his wife was like just so mad because she goes, I don't see the talent there and everything. But this guy was so cool. And I got to meet him, Freddie Perrin, at one of the ASCAP awards, because he got an award for Boys to Men song that they sang, that he wrote. It's So Hard to Say Goodbye.
Oh.
And I was there with my mom. I worked my way everywhere I could get, And I went up to him. I said, hi, I was just in Fierce. Fierce was just the group. And I just went up to him and I said, hi, I just want to say I've been a big fan of yours for so long, and I'm now working with Elliot Wolff. And he just was like, Elliot, he goes, I knew I could choose him. He just like, or something like that. But he had a brain aneurysm right after that.
Wow.
And so I was really lucky that I got to meet him. Yeah. And it was nice to see that. But he and Elliot, they wrote a song, his first single, which was Johnny Gill's first single.
Wow.
Super Love.
Yeah.
Super Love. It's like, I had no idea, like that's the song, and they wrote it together and produced it. So he learned a lot from him, and then just tried to do stuff and be creative. And really his genius is in physics more than music, but it all comes together, right?
Yeah, it must do.
He'd been starting to work in LA with some of our different writers and different producers, and he'd come back to Santa Fe and wanted to go camping just to get away from, because working with other producers at studios, that there's some people that they just weren't getting along, and he's just like, everybody just wants the same. They want Justin Bieber there. They want this. They want to sound like that. And he wants to do new stuff, And so he was getting frustrated. So he was an Eagle Scout, and he knew how to camp. He had everything you were supposed to have there and everything. But we're not really sure what happened, but he went missing when he went camping, and for almost 3 weeks. And his body did, we figured I always knew he was in the Pecos River, but they found his body, and that was really, I'm very lucky for that, because not knowing is just, not having any kind of closure. And I didn't get to say goodbye to him either, I said bye, going to that, but I feel he's here, and he's been guiding me about the music stuff. So I'm working on something it's right now, it's called the Elliot Wolff Project.
Wow.
So I haven't told many people, just a few friends.
Sure. That sounds like a very brave but fitting thing to work on. Definitely.
Yeah, I'm excited because I'm not really sure where it's gonna go. I'm just, but I'm working on it, and just because there's so many different. What's amazing is all the lyrics are amazing, and then the different styles. I mean, he produced 4 songs with Trey Lorenz.
Wow.
Yeah, this one song was the song that just it's called Father, Mother, Sister, Brother, and it was supposed to be on his record because he was singing for Mariah Carey. He still does. Mariah didn't want it on the record, but it's still an amazing song. There's so many amazing songs. I mean, songs I've written too,
Sure.
But the thing for me is the genius of the different styles, just so unbelievable, extraordinary, so I'm here, and he's guiding me, kind of telling somehow, and I feel good. I feel really good. And I'm just I didn't ever believe I could feel like this again, I just want to enjoy and have fun, because it's not really work.
No, in a very real way, it's not, and it shouldn't be. And music, in lots of ways, music shouldn't be, right? It should be a celebration of joy and love and everything. It should be that.
And that's my whole thing. Is the songs last forever, and as songwriters, we create, a 3-4 minute journey to take you to a place, and that's it. The hit songs that last forever and touch people more and more and more. And I am so excited to be able to even start singing again, and writing again, and playing and having fun and creating. And it's been suffocating me that I haven't been doing that. So
it is my hope that, because we can't talk to Elliot and to his genius writing for this track, I really hope that, at least the memories and what I've been able to record in this episode will go towards honoring him. And this episode is certainly going to be dedicated to his memory.
Thank you. It's very odd, but that's really sweet. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It's been really wonderful that you've taken a chance on this, that you've felt and you have trusted me, and decided that this is the time to come back and say hi and to tell your story. And what a wonderful story it's been. So thank you so much for being on CorrsCast, and all the best for future stuff. And just thanks.
I give you so much credit, because something about you is really different and unique, and your heart is like in a place of like where I love, like, about the music, just, and about how things are created and how those things, intertwined, and how it ended up doing this. And I love that. And I applaud you, because it's a lot of hard work, and I know how much of hard work that is.
Thank you.
I'm so impressed, and I think it's awesome. I applaud you big time. So
a lot of people down the last couple of years that I've reached out to, and there's been a few that have been like, can I be bothered to do this? But then they say, but there was something in the way that you spoke about what I'd done that made me think, why not? And then it's become like a brilliant episode and it's been loved by thousands and thousands of people all over the world. And it's just like, I'm really glad I bothered taking the time, and I'm really glad you said yes. So
I am too. Thank you so much, Simon, for having me on CorrsCast. I'm honored.
Honestly, the honor's mine. And yeah, all the best.
Awesome. Thank you, my friend.
Another thank you to Stacey for giving her time freely and transporting us back to the inspirations behind a song that's now nearly 30 years old. And I'm so thankful for the trust and support she's given myself and the show in agreeing to be part of this project. This was Stacey's first interview since the loss of her husband and writing partner, Elliot Wolff, and this episode is dedicated to his memory. To hear more of the incredible legacy of Elliot's music, then feel free to visit the website elliottwolff.com, links to which can be found in this episode's show notes. Another huge thank you must go out to Stacey for her trust in letting me mix the multi-tracks of the demo created for Love Gives, Love Takes. With vocals sung by the incredible Robbie Brown, it was a true labour of love to have the masters transferred from the original 24 tracks, and an honour for me to be able to put this into the show for you all to hear. Whether it's the show's Discord channel, comments via the YouTube version of the show, or emailing directly on the show's email address, CorrsCast@icloud.com, feel free to reach out or discuss the show with others who are listening. Why not also review and like the show on the platform you're listening on? This will help the work reach yet more fans still. Please also check out this episode's show notes, which include a scan of Andrea's handwritten lyrics to the original version of Love Gives, Love Takes by Stacey and Elliot, which she wrote out and used when working with Oliver Lieber to create the version of the song we now know from the album. If you wish to contribute to the running costs of the show, this is now possible via Patreon, a link to which can be found in the show notes or by visiting patreon.com/CorrsCast. I have yet another amazing guest lined up for the next episode, so keep your ears and eyes to the show's social media for more information. And as always, thank you for listening. You've been listening to CorrsCast, and keep on coring.